Picture landing in the United States on a student visa full of ideas in AI, biotech, or engineering. A few years later, you've built real skills, published work, maybe even contributed to something meaningful, and now you're ready to launch your career. But in 2026, the path forward feels more uncertain than ever. Policy shifts, backlogs, economic volatility, and suddenly the question isn't just how to succeed, it's how to move forward without losing everything you've built. This is part 1 of a 2-part series. In this video, we break down the foundation of the entire journey, how F1 status actually works as a launchpad, how OPT becomes your first real opportunity, and how early decisions can accelerate or delay your path to permanent residency. And by the end, you'll understand how to move faster and more securely toward permanent residency. We'll also include a quick quiz at the end to make sure you fully understood the key points. We've put the questions and timestamps on screen so you can jump to what matters most. This breakdown is brought to you by the law offices of Chris M. Ingram.
Just a quick reminder, if you appreciate this kind of in-depth content, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It helps us bring you more content. Now, on with the video.
The United States is still the global center for innovation. Artificial intelligence, biotechnology, clean energy, quantum computing, and immigrants are not just part of the system, they drive it. Around 40% of the U.S. Nobel Prizes in science have gone to immigrants, and over 55% of billion-dollar startups were founded or co-founded by immigrants. So the opportunity is real, but so is the complexity, because without strategy, even the most talented professionals can get stuck in long, uncertain visa pathways. That's why everything starts with understanding the foundation. If you're on an F1 visa, you already have a powerful starting point. You can study full-time, work on campus, but the real transition begins after graduation. Optional practical training, 12 months of work authorization, and if you're in STEM, a 24-month extension. That's up to 3 years total. This period is critical because it's not just about working, it's about positioning. Many graduates earn salaries above $80,000, and roughly 70% transition into longer-term visa options. You also have tools like cap-gap extensions, H-1B lottery access, cap-exempt employers like universities and research institutions. But here's the key. What you build during this phase determines what options you unlock later. Publications, projects, patents, recommendations. This is not just work experience, it's your evidence portfolio. Once you enter the workforce, the real acceleration begins. Employment-based green cards offer long-term stability and, in some cases, independence. EB-1, extraordinary ability. This is one of the fastest paths. Approvals can come in as little as 6 to 12 months, and importantly, it can be self-petitioned. No employer required if you can demonstrate impact, recognition, sustained achievement. EB-2 NIW, National Interest Waiver, also self-petitioned. Designed for professionals with advanced degrees whose work benefits the U.S. However, this is important. For nationals of countries like India or China, backlogs can make this a much longer path. But for others, it remains a strong and viable option. H-1B, bridge, not destination. H-1B is still widely used, but it depends on employer sponsorship. It has a lottery, and it carries increasing costs. In some cases, total employer costs can approach $100,000, which makes companies more selective than ever. Key strategy shift. This is why more professionals are moving toward self-sponsored paths like EB-1 and NIW, because they offer something critical: control. You're no longer tied to a single employer, a single timeline, or a single point of failure. Let's make it real. Annika arrived on an F1 visa to pursue a master's in artificial intelligence. She graduated, entered STEM OPT, and joined a startup. She published research, spoke at conferences, everything was on track, until the company hit financial trouble. Her OPT clock didn't stop, so she adapted. She secured a cap-exempt research role. That bought her time. Then she built a strong O1 petition based on her work. She was approved, And instead of restarting another restrictive path, she continued building her profile toward long-term residency options. Today, she leads projects and mentors others. Her takeaway: OPT wasn't the end, it was the bridge, and what I built earlier made the difference.
Now let's put this into practice. Question 1. True or false? STEM OPT can extend your work authorization up to 3 years. Answer: true, because it includes 12 months of OPT plus a 24-month STEM extension. Question 2. True or false? EB-1 and NIW always require employer sponsorship. Answer: false. Both can be self-petitioned, allowing you to apply independently if you qualify. Question 3. True or false? Building your profile early has no impact on your future visa options. Answer: false. Your evidence, like publications and impact, is what enables faster, independent pathways like EB-1. How did you do? Drop your score in the comments and tell us which question made you think the most.
So what did we actually build in this video? A clear foundation from F1 to OPT to the strategies that shape everything that comes next. Because this phase isn't temporary, it's strategic. And if you get it right, you don't just stay in the system, you move ahead of it. But what happens when everything suddenly goes wrong? A layoff, a visa clock running out, no sponsor. In part 2, we break down grace periods most people misunderstand, H-1B portability, visa stacking strategies, and how to stay in the US even under pressure. This is where most people panic, and where the right strategy makes all the difference. If this helped clarify your path, like, subscribe, and leave your questions. We'll answer the most important ones in part 2. See you there.